Today's guest is someone who understands something I talk about all the time. We don't build businesses so they can own us. We build them to create freedom. Mike Dejong is an entrepreneur, multi-unit franchise owner, turnaround expert, keynote speaker, and author of Grow Smart, Your Path to Freedom. Over the past 30 years, Mike has built businesses across multiple industries, including 4 ground-up, 7-figure businesses and 2 7-figure exits. He opened the first Nothing Bundt Cakes in Wisconsin, eventually building 4 locations, and even took a struggling franchise from a negative 12% year over year to positive 23% in just 7 months. He's a Tony Robbins Platinum partner and has spent nearly 4 decades as a pilot, an experience he now uses to teach his business owners one of the biggest lessons. You have to stop flying the plane long enough to actually run the airline. His work is about helping entrepreneurs escape what he calls the operator trap, building the systems, teams, leadership that allow the business to operate without the owner having their hands on everything. And you guys know how much I love that. So today we're going to talk about what it really takes to stop being the person your business depends on and start becoming the leader your business needs. Mike Dejong, welcome to the Motipulation Podcast. We're happy to have you.
Oh my goodness, what a warm welcome. Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
You're welcome. It's great to have you here. So where are you at now? Last time that we talked, you were all over the place.
I'm coming to you live from Reston, Virginia, but last 4 days I've been in Portland, Maine. So, I do move around a bit.
So I believe what you told me before is that the reason that you move around a lot is because you're actually trying to help business owners all over.
That is part of it. Absolutely. If I'm in different places, they don't have to travel to see me, which makes it easier for them. But also my version of freedom is travel. So last December, I ditched the last of my big belongings. If it doesn't fit in my car, I don't need it. I've been living in Airbnbs and hotels ever since and loving it. This is just like, it's cool for me. I know it's not for everybody.
Yeah, that's super cool though. I bet you've seen some pretty awesome places that way.
Yeah. A few weeks ago, I was hiking 14,000 foot peaks in Colorado. And I said a few days ago, I was checking out the islands around Portland, Maine and just living life. It's great.
That's super cool. That does sound like freedom. I don't know how many of us could say that we could just be in Colorado one week and then Portland the next with no plan or any kind of obligation that keeps us from doing that. So that's super exciting. So I really want to understand business and how you did what you did. Now, I have 2 locations and that is a lot for me to manage. I can only imagine how much having all of those locations was like, and how do you do that? How do you manage to have, be in so many places at once and be an owner that's actually successful? Because obviously you were doing well. You managed to get yourself in a place where it was profitable.
It was a slog. I made a lot of mistakes along the way. Absolutely. Made so many mistakes, hundreds of thousands of dollars of mistakes, which is why I want to talk to every business owner I can so they could use me as an example, whether that's the good example or a bad example, they could decide. But along the way, I figured out that every time everything went through me, that I was the roadblock. I was in my own way from growing and doing more. And once I put my ego aside and I realized that it's okay for other people to make mistakes, that I make mistakes. I don't seem to get mad when I make a mistake, but I get mad when one of my employees makes a mistake. I'm like, maybe I should let them make mistakes, and kind of filtering through and finding the right people, and then putting processes and procedures in place, SOPs. And I have a very simple way of setting that up now. It used to be a slog to do that too, but now it's pretty quick. So I got the SOPs in place. I got the people in place. I did some test runs after one big fiasco vacation where it was a disaster. And it led to being able to grow more and more and more and easier, even across the country. I had bakeries in Wisconsin and Washington State. They're like a 4 or 5 hour plane ride apart. So they weren't next to each other.
So you said that you allowed your employees to make mistakes. That one's a hard one. Because there are mistakes that you probably made that then they repeated, right?
Yeah, as much as you try to set them up to win and to not make the same mistakes as you do when leaders are learning to lead, mistakes will be made. And it's learning what stuff to let go of and building up to it. You don't just say, here's the key to the business and walk away. I tried that once and I almost went bankrupt. Wouldn't recommend it. You get to that burnout phase. You're like, you know what? Here, you run the place. I'm going to go on vacation for a year. Yeah, that wasn't a good idea. But maybe it starts with It's like you're responsible for the schedule, and actually responsible for the schedule, not like I'm going to look it over and make changes. Not that you can't have any discussions about it. Like, hey, I noticed you put Sally over here and Billy over there. Maybe we need to trim that or move things around. But not every time. You want them to get to where they actually own it. And the guardrails are, this is how many hours of labor you have. And here's our forecasting from the past. Go for it. Do you have any questions?
Fantastic.
And then moving on, it's customer complaints used to always go through me. Well, how about they go through a couple of different levels before they get to me? No matter of fact, there's some I still like to talk to customers because I look at complaints as a wonderful opportunity to grow. I know for a long time, like, these people just don't understand. I'm like, no, if they took the time to complain, probably 100 people didn't take the time to complain. So maybe I should listen.
Yeah.
But we put, in that case, we put a process in place. Okay. The person on the floor can deal with it on the spot. And if they can't, you always have to have guardrails. You can't just like give the whole business away, but you could fix it up to $100. We're selling cake, so it's hard to screw up $100 worth of cake. If they still want to talk to a manager, great. Talk to the manager. If the first person fixed it, still the manager would call and follow up. Hey, did Mike take care of you? Was the issue resolved? We really take this stuff seriously and mean it because we do, and we want to get better. And then I'll often touch base a few weeks later and say,
I
hey,
love that.
did
I had
Sally
never
and
thought
Mike,
of that.
did Sally and Mike take care of
good.
you? Do you have any lingering questions? Is there anything else we could do that came up since then? Like, we're very thankful you let us know that this problem occurred and we're doing everything we can to fix it. And again, you should do the things to fix it. It shouldn't just be lip service, but they became opportunities instead of challenges. So we kind of put that in place, and then you start letting them work on the hiring, and they're going to get some bad hires, even if you have a whole menu of questions they should ask. And you get them into firing, which that's even more awful. But of course, you never want them just to fire someone on the spot. You want them to go through you, at least for a while first. You start building out more and more and more of what they're responsible for. I get my people to where they're actually managing the P&L and calling things out to me. And then there's all this trust there, and away you go. I could go on vacation and touch base once a week, or in some cases once a month, depending what it is. Look at some key metrics and know that everything's running. Versus that year I took off where my only metric was there money in the bank account, and if there was, yay, and if there wasn't, what are we going to do now? Which is kind of how I got close to bankruptcy. I'm like, oh no, I should have a lot of money after the big Christmas holidays. What's going on? And it wasn't there. And I'm like, what happened? Oh, you doubled the labor and sales went down. Great. That's not awesome.
Yeah. Wow. Good on you for figuring that out right away.
What are we going to do to fix this?
Yeah. That's
it was close. It was.
Yeah. It's humbling, but also, wow, it's really great. It's so helpful to people that you explain that, because sometimes people see you where you are being successful and they think, yeah, it works for you, but you're not dealing with the same thing that I'm dealing with. And I think it's important for us to show that there are reasons why we've gotten to this place of success. It wasn't that overnight we just suddenly everything works out perfectly. We have these lessons along the way. I really like your levels of execution for complaints. I don't know why I haven't ever thought of that. I actually I have a form up front for when somebody does complain, that we get the people's information so that we can call them back and make sure that we take care of them. And it's escalated to the manager to take care of, but I hadn't thought about having the next step of another level up. That would be, I would feel very taken care of as a customer if that happened.
I would hope so. Yeah, it works great. Starting with the person right in front of the customer. Like, they should be authorized to fix it on the spot.
Immediately,
shouldn't even have to get the manager involved, because I know it's like, I got to go call my manager. I'm like, okay, great. I'm going to sit here another 10 minutes waiting for it. It's like, hey, what can I, and the question is, what can I do to make this right here, right now? Not, I'm going to offer something, like, because often they just want an apology or a couple dollars knocked off or something. It's not like a big deal. So you don't know what they want until you ask. So ask, don't before you offer.
I love it. Yeah. My theme this year is a closed mouth doesn't eat. And so I remind myself that if I need something, I need to ask for it. That's the magic recipe. If you open your mouth and you say, hey, I need help with this, it's amazing how many people that are going to come alongside and go, I'll help you. So yeah, I love that. I absolutely love that. How can we make this better? Also, then you're not either underserving them or overserving them. You're serving
Right.
exactly what they need. That's really good advice. I like that. So
Well, and
you
then you
talk
could take it
about,
another level up. You give them what they
okay.
need and then give them a little extra.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's like, okay,
Exceed
yeah,
their
I
expectations.
fix this. And by the way, here's in the restaurant business, here's a coupon for a free appetizer next time you come in. Or in my case, like, here's another free cake. And by the way, here's a coupon for another free cake for the next holiday.
Oh,
Like
I love it.
triple fix it. Because people
Yeah. Cause
will talk about the good less than they'll talk about the bad. But if you go really good, then they'll talk about it. And what does
that's a good point.
that cost you? Almost nothing versus I had to pull out my receipt and I had to show up and they made me bring in the leftover and I had to do this and I had to drive uphill both ways through the snow and there was a blizzard and all these bad things versus, yeah, I went in there pissed and they just fixed it on the spot. And a matter of fact, they double, triple took care of me. And I know business owners goes, people are going to take advantage of me. There's going to be certain people that just steal. They're going to use this to their advantage. And you know what? They're right. There's a few people that are going to, but most of humanity is not like that.
Right.
Sell
And even
to
those
this
few people that
90% and deal with that one or two bottom drags. Yeah.
Yeah, you're 100% right. The one or two that are going to do it, it's worth it to be able to serve the 90% that, become your long-term. Yes, absolutely. I agree. So you talk about the operator trap. What does it actually look like, the operator trap, and how does an owner know that they're stuck in this and that they how do they know that this needs to be fixed for success? What is that, the operator trap?
Yeah, the operator trap is the thing that made us so successful. And now we've built ourselves I call it the gilded cage. So we got into business early on and we worked really hard. We're there at open and we're there at close and we do everything. And we got some success. We made some money and we're feeling good about life. And it's the very thing that's keeping us from growing because there's only 168 hours in a week. And I don't care who you are, you have to sleep some of them. Whether it's you need 4 hours a night or 8 hours a night, you need to sleep some of them. You need to eat once in a while. You probably should bathe. Maybe your family wants to see you. So you can't make more hours. We're not, who is that character? Not in Harry Potter, Hermione. We don't have that little clock where we can go back in time and recreate more hours. So if you want to grow, you have to grow outside of yourself. You have to grow through people. You have to grow through systems and through processes. You can't grow. You can't manufacture more time. So that's the trap. The thing that made you successful is the thing that's stopping you from being more successful.
So it's sort of the mindset of that it has to be me and not other people.
Right. No one could do it as good as I can. It's always like no one. Everyone screws it up. I've tried everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you ask a few questions like, what have you tried? Oh yeah. Yes.
I love it.
Yeah. Their mistakes cost me, $100, $1,000, $5,000. It's like, you've never made a mistake that cost you money as you're growing. Well, I shouldn't have to pay for I'm paying them as employees. They shouldn't make mistakes. I wish that were true, but it's not. Would you rather take a few $100 or a few $1,000 hit and open 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 stores? Or is it more important to hold on to that $200 and keep yourself at 1 or 2?
Yeah. So good. So good. Especially because you're going to limit yourself. If you're going to do it all, you're going to do it all. That's what'll happen. People will let you because you're doing it all. But
Absolutely.
You will limit yourself. You will not be able to continue to grow, and you'll reach a ceiling of all that you can do. And that ceiling comes with a huge payout of burnout.
Absolutely correct. Right. You just hit a day, just a moment where you're like, I can't, not another hour, not another minute, another second. I'm not doing this anymore. And then it's like, what? You close the business and everyone that works for you loses their job. Like, that doesn't sound great. Your kids don't get to go to college. Sounds pretty awful. You're going to go live in a cardboard box because all your bills magically go away. No, like, it's just, it's not a spot you need to be in, and you can get in front of it by starting to put some systems in place and not being the person that everything goes through. And it used to be challenging to build SOPs. You had to sit down and either handwrite them or type them up. Step 1, do this. Step 2, do that. Step 3, do this other thing. Flow charts, the whole thing. Now you could just turn on Loom or Zoom or Descript or hold your cell phone up and record yourself. And here you go. Like, I go to this website and I go, and this is the password, and this is where I get in, and I go to this menu and I go to this sub menu and I order these things, and this is why. and I'd order this many if it was this. And you just record it, then you hand it off to someone else to try it. You don't edit it. Don't even look at it. You'll hate it. I guarantee you'll hate it. All the ums and ahs, and it's like, oh, I mean, like, yeah, don't go there. I mean, go over here first. Yeah, that's what I meant. Okay. And you won't hand it off. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Hand it off to someone. If they could do it without asking questions, you got your first procedure. If they ask a couple of questions, make those couple of changes, then you got your first procedure. You want to clean it up? Drop it in your favorite AI tool and say, hey, make this into an SOP for me. Boom, done. All the ums and ahs and don't go here's are gone.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Throw it on a Google Drive, or there's a lot of different software programs out there too, but Google Drive's easy enough, or OneDrive, or any of those, Dropbox, I don't care, whatever your favorite one is. Give everyone access to it. Read only, I think, would be better, so they don't go change it or accidentally delete it. And then the next tricky part is getting them to use it, because they're used to calling you and you're used to answering the phone or texting back right away. And I beat that by not answering the phone and not texting back right away, or I text back. When they did call, I'd be like, "Hey, I can't come to the phone right now. What's going on?" And they tell me, and instead of fixing it, I'd be like, "Oh, did you check the SOP folder?"
That's
And
great.
after a while, they start going there first instead of to you. It's just retraining yourself is harder than retraining them. People just want help. As long as you point to where the help is, they're good.
That's fantastic. Yep, it's that we teach people how to treat us, right? And so we have to set the systems up, but then actually use the systems that we set up and continuously train them. I always tell my staff that, do you ever stop reminding your kids to brush their teeth? And they're like, no. And I go, well, it's the same thing with your employees. You can't expect that you say it once and they're going to know it and do it forever. It's one of those things that you just keep reminding them and you keep redirecting them because it's the right thing to do. And you don't get mad at them. You just know that you're going to have to repeat yourself, and it's okay.
And it's okay. That's exactly right. To a point. If you have to do it every day of every minute to the same people, maybe you don't have the right people. I'm just going to throw that out there. But usually by the time we're 8 or 9 years old, we could own our own teeth. We don't need to be told every night to brush our teeth. But some parents still tell their kids every night, and 20 years old, you brush your teeth. Like I've known that for 10, 12 years, Mom. Like don't do it. So there's a fine line there. I'm not saying you don't have to keep telling them forever, but you also have to evaluate.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. There is a point where it's like, okay, maybe you're not going to make it.
Right. Well, especially if you want to be true ownership, if you're the one that has to remind them all the time to go and do these things, then you're still operating at some level. And if you want to be the true owner, where you're thinking of strategy and figuring out direction, and living your life of freedom, then the less day-to-day stuff you're doing, the better. I'm not saying none. Some people get a lot of juice out of doing some of the day-to-day stuff, and they should. But they also should have other people that can do it, so they're not the only one in any particular area.
Yeah, I like that. What would you say the difference between delegation and developing someone that can make decisions without you? What's the difference between that?
My first attempts at delegation was, I called it the D&D method, delegate and disappear.
Oh.
And that's something I learned early on because it was done to me, but that's not the best way to develop or delegate. So in delegating things to people, you have to kind of be very clear on what you want done. The timeline, do they have the tools? Do they understand? There's just some things like when I delegate something that's not done, I start asking questions like, did you know it needed to be done by 3:00 on Thursday? Well, yes. Did you have the tools to do it? Well, yes. Did you have any roadblocks to getting it done? No. Okay, well, why didn't you get it done? Well, I didn't understand the priority because you gave me 3 other things that were due by 3:00 on Thursday, and I just guessed that this other one was more important than this one. You're like, oh, okay, it was me. I wasn't clear. And it usually is when you're delegating. Good delegation leads into good development because the people that you build this rapport with and can pick up slack, they can run with whatever you're delegating, those become the ones that are worth developing. If you're constantly having to go through, did you understand what time it was due? Do you have to go through the whole list with someone repeatedly with every task you give them? Maybe you don't want to spend your time developing them. But after a few go around, you'll understand if it's someone that has the chops or at least wants to learn. I'll work with anyone that wants to learn.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like if they're trainable and teachable, that's a quality that I can work with. And when they stop being teachable, that's when that maybe it's time for them to find a new place to take their journey. Because one of our core values is always improving, and in that you have to be teachable. So, because mistakes happens, people have to learn and grow, and we do what we can to be better versions of ourselves. But doesn't mean that we've ever arrived, and that's how I kind of present it: is we've never arrived. Just remember that there's always room for growth.
I call it the 100-0 philosophy, and I'll take 100% responsibility for my mistake. I would expect you to take 100% responsibility for yours, but I'm not going to blame you. Like if you got it wrong, it's like, all right, what happened? What did we all learn from this? What can you teach the group? Moving on. If you keep doing it every day, okay, maybe we haven't learned, and it's a whole other issue. But it's really hard to instill that in places, because from when we're small children, it's like we hear, it's not me. It's not me. It was my brother. It's my sister. It was the person down the street. It was whoever. We never learned to take responsibility. It was always pushed on us or pushed away from us. Right. So building that culture, it's interesting. It takes some time, and then you bring new people into the culture and they don't believe it for a while. And it's interesting. But once you have it in place, man, that constant never ending improvement stuff just explodes, because there's some trust built there.
Yeah, it becomes safe to make a mistake as long as we're learning from it. Yeah.
Yep. Right. Try not to repeat them, but it does happen, because what's the constant in the business? Us and the people. I had one person, the very first person I ever hired, worked for me until I sold that particular business almost 10 years. Usually the best ones only come for 4, 5, 6 years, because they're going to move on in their journey. Maybe they've topped out in your organization. They need to go to a bigger organization, or they move, or something happens. But just building that trust. But oh man, the always growing thing. I don't know about you, but I find it so frustrating early on. I'd be like, I've reached another level. Yes. Crap. There's another level. Oh, I got to work again.
And then you reach the next level.
Yeah. And then you get to the next level. You're like, I beat the next boss. I beat the next video game analogy. And then like, can I get to the big boss? Can I just go defeat the big boss and be done with? There is no big boss. There's always another level. It's infinite levels. And once you embrace that, it really does become fun. But that in between time when you're trying to figure that out, it's a little frustrating for me anyway. Maybe I'm alone.
Yes. Frustrating, painful, and costly. Very, very costly. It's
Oh God, yeah.
I just want to be efficient at everything, and I want to be. I don't want to lose money, and so that's always really frustrating for me. And that's a trigger for jumping in and taking over when I feel like we're going to lose money over something. And I always say, when we make mistakes, I don't ask you to pay for it out of your paycheck. It comes out of mine. So I would like to minimize that as much as we possibly can. But it just happens. How do you reconcile that? How do you teach leaders to be able to, let that happen and not get upset?
It starts with us being able to let it happen and not get upset. Like if you were to go back to Kay's her name, the 10-year employee, I bet she could count on one hand the amount of times she saw me upset, maybe 3 times in 10 years. Because it just never happened. When would it happen? When you have someone that has multiple times along their journey that seems to make these big, very costly blunders or asks, can we do, I can't think of the exact, maybe I don't want to share. I can think of several. I don't want to share the exact examples to keep the, people can understand who they were if they watch the podcast. I don't want them to feel bad about themselves, but they'd keep like wanting to do something not in our SOPs. And you're like, no, this is the way we do it because we know this works. And then they keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And the 427th time in 4 years that they asked the question, you already said no to. You're like,
yeah.
Maybe lost my cool isn't correct, but like maybe I'd get a little loud. Like, this has not changed from the last. You just yelled. It's like, did I? No, I just use harsher language instead of saying I'm sorry in front of that. Sometimes you just have to. I don't know.
It's hard. It is really hard. I legit feel the frustration when I think about it. It's as a business owner, it feels so personal being the business owner, and I love. For me, I got hurt and it forced me to create systems and SOPs and start trusting people around me because I just couldn't do anything. And after I got through it, I was like, it's interesting. I don't know why I struggled so hard with giving up control. because that was the one thing that was standing in the way of me having freedom. I was actually driving today and I was remembering that we were out to dinner for my daughter's birthday, and I got a call from the restaurant that they ran out of buns, and I left her birthday party to go get buns for the restaurant. Yeah. And I think, and I'm not proud of that person that I was. And why couldn't I trust that they could have handled that? Because I've wanted to be always in control. Yeah. And man, my heart is for business owners that are in that space, because it is really hard. It's hard to take something that's so personal, so precious, that you have built, that you have put all your energy, your sweat, you've sacrificed time with your children and games and plays and things, because you are building this legacy that you see a future for you and your family. And the one thing that's standing in that way is the fact that you can't give up control. And I love that you're teaching people that, because I'm a huge fan of businesses. I think that entrepreneurs really make a huge difference in the world. We employ people, we make our communities better, and we have a heart to build for other people, not just ourselves. And it takes a special kind of person that does that. And when we do it well, it's 100% worth it.
Yes. And when we do it badly, it really hurts. But you mentioned something I think that's a really key point, is you got forced to make the change. Mm. And for a lot of people, we need an event in our lives that says, all right, I need to make a change right now. I can't do this anymore. If we look back in our personal lives, very few of us have been with the exact same person. Like, we dated and married together with like one person our whole lives. Usually we've dated a few people and even so a few friends. And you don't just kind of like, it's rarely one moment where you go, that's it, I'm done. It's, you build to it, right? And then you get to the moment after so many instances of whatever, where you get to not another day, not another hour, not another minute, I'm going to make a change. And business owners, I think, are very much the same way. They need that moment that like says, oh, like you got hurt, like I had to do it. And you just get this moment and you got to make a change. And then it's like, all right, now what? And often it's almost too late, which is really disappointing for me. So I'm glad we're having this conversation so that we can get in front of it. Because if you're ready to make a change, like I'll challenge all business owners, and you're thinking you don't need to, I challenge you to go take 3 or 4 days off and leave your laptop at your phone at home. If you could do that, you're an owner, you're not an operator. If you can't do that, you should give one of us a call and we'll help you.
Yeah, for sure. I love it. Yeah. And I think that most business owners know deep down inside that they need that. They need to be able to walk away and have that freedom, and they want that. They desire it. They just don't have the roadmap to get there. So tell us about your book. It's a roadmap of how to get there. It
is. Yeah. It originally was called Grow Fast, because I wanted people to be able to grow fast. Mm-hmm. And then as I kind of went through the revision process and talked to some other people, they're like, you're actually telling people to slow down. The whole slow is smooth and smooth is fast concept. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I am. I'm telling them to put the procedures in place, to hire the right people, to get things set up. So maybe I'm telling them to grow smart. And then another friend like, hey, throw a piece of duct tape over the fast. Let's say grow smart. I'm like, we have the title. Yay. Let's go with that. But it is a roadmap to get from where I was. And my aha moment happened on a vacation where my manager quit when I got off the plane. Like, I got off the plane, turned my phone on, and it's like, I quit. Yeah. I'm in Mexico. What am I supposed to do? That was my moment.
Oh no. Wow.
And there was a lot of stuff leading up to that. I could tell the whole story if you want to hear it, but it was
I do. Let's the audience would love to hear it.
So at the time I was living in Wisconsin, interesting state. In February, you can get an 80-degree day, which is like amazing because winter's over. And then the next day it'll snow, which is terrible because you just had this tease that winter's over. Mm-hmm. And it was one of those particularly, I know you're in Alaska and you understand snow. I get that different than Wisconsin. But those winters where it's just like, it doesn't stop. It's like you have extra gloomy days more than normal, and you have more blizzards than normal. And you just like, you lack vitamin D, and your energy and your will to live is declining by the minute. And then you get this little ray of hope. It's like, summer's coming, and then it snows again. You're like, that's it. I'm like, I became a business owner because I wanted freedom. And for me, freedom means travel. So I am going someplace sunny. I don't care where that is. I'm going to find a place and I'm going to leave like tomorrow. This is a Sunday. And I couldn't find a place to leave on a Monday, but by Tuesday I was on a plane to Mexico. And I told my man, I finally had a good manager. She was running things better than I was. I'm like, this is great. This is amazing. I can't believe this. She has better control of labor and her COGS better than me. Everything's better. Like this is an amazing person. What do you need, dog? We'll make you happy. I want you here forever. And I get on the plane. I get off the plane, and the warm breeze is hitting my face. I'm like, because it's one of those like airports where you walk off like the stairs, like onto the tarmac, and you can see the palm trees. And there's a steel drum band, like, and they're playing Bob Marley, No Woman, No Cry, with steel drums. And I'm just like, this is great. Someone's handing you a rum drink. Like, man, oh my God, this is awesome. And I turned my phone on because I'm a business operator, even though I own the business, but I got to be in touch. And ding, da ding, da ding, da ding, da ding, the text messages start blowing up, and then it rings. And it was my manager, and she was only going to call me if the store burned down. And I'm like, okay, I guess the store burned down. This is what went through my head. And then I'm like, all right, I can recover from this. I used to do operations for a Fortune 500 company. I've had a few buildings burned down over the years. I have a plan for that. This is okay. But it's going to be stressful. I'm on vacation. Well, I guess I should answer it. And I answer the phone. And she's like, I just want to let you know the store didn't burn down. I'm like, okay, that's a relief. What's going on? I'm quitting. You're quitting? Yeah, I'm quitting. I'm like, I thought we had something going here. She's like, yeah, I quit. I'll stay until you get back, though. Oh my God. God. Yeah, I went to the bar, had a few too many cervezas, and then thought I'd try to enjoy the vacation, but I spent the rest of the vacation on my phone and on my laptop because no one trusted her anymore to answer the questions properly because we had no SOPs. Everything went through her or me. And spent the whole rest of the vacation like just working. I'm like, something's got to change. And a few days in, I really started to get extra angry and burned out, like I'm like, I can't keep doing this. Like but I can't quit because my kids, I got one in college and one about to go into college, and I got all my whole life. I'll lose everything. And of course there's an identity piece to it. And I'm like, what do all my friends think of me and my family and all those teachers and guidance counselors? I had a guidance counselor told me you won't get a job saying you want fries with that. Like that's the good quality adults I had in my life. And I'm like, I can't, what am I going to do? And I started thinking back to when I was successful in my engineering days or my aviation days or my corporate America days. I'm like, whoa, it was successful. I'm like, we had procedures for things, and we had meetings, and and everything had a process. And I purposely didn't put any of that stuff in place because I hated all of it. Hated it. And I'm like, oh my God, I guess you need that stuff to make it work. And I immediately started, I know, I laugh too. It's like one of those things like, duh. So I started like doing it the opposite of how I teach people now. I looked at the biggest things, the biggest changes I could make and put them in place first because I was driven to get this done. I tell people start with something small and get the dopamine hit, and then start building up to the big ones because if you take the big swings, most people don't get it done. But I was totally motivated, and I got back and I stopped answering my phone or answering texts. I just let them learn where the SOPs were, and then I started taking smaller and smaller vacations, or longer and longer, I guess I should say, finding out what broke while I was gone. Like, I'm the tech support guy. Okay, I got to find a local tech guy that can come in on a moment's notice. There's not me. How am I supposed to fix the kitchen printers when I'm in Mexico? Like, I can't, right? Like, it's and just kept building on it, and then learning what KPIs I needed. I started with tracking absolutely everything, and then I got to where I was tracking absolutely nothing except my bank account, and that's where I almost went bankrupt because I wasn't looking enough. Found that happy medium, and it led to being able to go from 1 to 2 to 4 to 5 to multiple locations in multiple different franchise systems in multiple states, and then had them set up where, as small business owners, we often think like, we'll give this to our kids or we'll sell it, right? Like that's our exit strategy. We'll sell it. But we don't realize that if we're the key person in that business, that you can't get very much for it because you are the business. Like if you could sell it at all, it's not going to be for right. But if you're selling multiple locations at one time with a proven system and employees, man, your multiple goes 3, 4, 5, 6, 10x of what you'd get if you're just selling like a single unit and selling yourself, if you could even sell it. So it just totally blew up my life. And I know it could blow up everyone else's in a good way. Like when I say blow up, I don't mean like bad things are happening. I mean, explosively wonderful things will happen Once you learn to let go, get past your ego, and your identity becomes business owner, not business operator, it just changes everything.
I love that. What I like is what you're talking about. You set them up, set for success, and then you step back and you look at, okay, what went wrong? Where are the areas that we need to still make better? Instead of going, I have to have it all perfect before I set it all up. It all has to be dialed in. And then if there's one thing that goes wrong, thinking, oh, nothing works. Instead, you're going, okay, we're going to set this up small.
Right. I tried it. It didn't work. Exactly.
Yeah. And then when you have the thing that you take the step back and you come back and you're like, okay, what went wrong while I was gone? What do we need to fix now? It becomes kind of like a game instead of, oh, we're a failure. I like that. That's good.
It really does. One thing I preach to my teams is perfect is the lowest standard. It's the absolute lowest standard because it's unachievable. And if you can't achieve it, then it's why even try to have it happen. I'm not saying we can't constantly improve, constantly get better, micro changes, A/B testing all the time, but we're never going to get to perfect. And so many people wait for perfect, especially our architects. I talk about 3 business leadership types: our architects, our hunters, and our GSD people. Is this a PG podcast? Get stuff done. We'll go with that. Okay. Business people, and it's our architects especially. They want perfection. Everything has to be just so before they could pull the trigger or execute, and it just doesn't exist. You'll never get anything done. Money loves speed. Fail forward, or try something, and then, oh God, this other thing. This one's a hard one to teach. It's getting people to let go of their ideas, because someone will have a great idea. You'll have a great idea, and it's like, let's try this. Like, okay, this isn't working. Good, let's move on and stop doing this and do something else. Instead, we're like what do you call it? The sunk cost fallacy. Like, I put all this time and money into this, so I need to make it work. No, that didn't work. All right, let's try something else. Fail sooner, fail faster.
Mm-hmm. I love that. That's so good. It is true. So we, Bill and I, we opened up our storefront. We were a food truck when we started out, and we opened up our storefront in February of 2020, not knowing what was coming in the world. And we literally had our first,
that was quite the time.
It was quite the time to open a restaurant. And in that process, we ended up growing as a restaurant, and we got busier and busier, which was, I still think that's wild. But I think part of the reason I watched restaurants that I grew up going to close their doors forever during that time because they weren't able to survive what happened to them, and just the world shutting down. It was really devastating. And I think about it when I look back at what made us successful, and it was that we would try things, and if they didn't work, we'd just go do something else. We'd just pivot. We kept pivoting until we figured out what worked. And I think that's really key in anything that we do, is understanding when to say, let's pull up anchor, go somewhere else and try something different. And
Brilliant.
you get too married to something. I like that. I call it pot committed when you're playing poker and,
Sure.
They keep upping the ante as it goes around. And then you're so committed because you've already put so much money into it that you're like, well, I need to see it out at this point. But sometimes the best answer is I fold. I'm done.
Yeah. It oftentimes it's not even the money. It's the time. That's the finite resource. Money is unlimited. Like, okay, you and I and most of the world doesn't have unlimited money. I get that, but it's out there. Like, there is no pie. There is no getting your piece of it. Money's created. Billions of dollars are created as I spoke the sentence. It's just, It keeps coming. But time doesn't get created. We have a very limited amount of that. However you want to measure it, whether it's 168 hours in a week or several thousand hours in a year, whatever it is, that's where you're going to,
you don't get any extra,
waste your
right?
time. Yeah, no.
Yeah. We can always make more money, but we can't make more time.
Well, I guess leap year we get an extra day, but
yeah, right. until they figure out how to extend life, this is it. This is all you got. So yeah, I agree. And but yet we get so upset about losing money. It's so funny because it's just personal. Business is personal. My husband used to tell me it's not personal, and I would say it is personal because it's mine. It's what I'm doing, and
it's a contact sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to get bloody. You're going to get broken. Yeah, it just get back in the arena, right?
Yeah, and realize that Mistakes always happen. It's just part of the journey. It's part of the process and part of leveling up. And I love that. And I finally have reached a place where I have freedom in my business. And I now looking back, I think to myself, man, if I'd have known sooner, if I had just had the tools a little bit earlier on, I would have gotten to this place so much sooner and I wouldn't have missed out on like my daughter's birthday or my kids' football games, or I wouldn't have spent so much time sitting in my office feeling like I could never go home. And that's the person that I really think that you speak to. And I love that you're doing that because there are so many business owners that have wonderful ideas and wonderful businesses, but they feel paralyzed and thinking that they're going to quit because they can't see any other way out. And you're going to help lots of people. I'm super grateful for that.
Thank you. It's really my mission. My mission in life now is to get business owners, I call them, get worthier opponents and higher quality problems. Because you're always going to have opponents and you're always going to have problems. So let's like make them better quality problems. Instead of,
I love that.
Are we going to run out of buns? It's like, okay, which should I open the location here or here or here and here? You know, that's a different quality problem, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So how do you find quality people?
I started asking myself a different question. Instead of how could I find someone that's as good as me or won't screw it up that bad or I could live with, which is kind of where I was before, because no one could do it as good as me, obviously. Only 8 billion people in the world. None of them are going to be as good as me. Couldn't possibly happen. Yeah, a little sarcasm there. As I started asking the question, how can I find someone who's better than me? And in a specific area, like my life journey is different than yours, and we've learned different things along the way. So two people, even my brother and I have very similar life journeys for the first part of our lives, right? But we still think very differently about how we attack problems and look at the world. So let's find someone that's our strength. Like if you're a GSD, find someone who's a hunter. If you're an architect, find a GSD. Like you get the idea, and then get them specific. Like not like I want someone who's going to be in the restaurant business, a perfect hostess or host, and be able to manage the entire unit, and be able to do all the ordering, and be able to fill in for every shift, and be able to forecast out labor for the next 6 months, and be able to decide where we're going to put the next location, and do all the marketing. And how about you just get someone who's a kick-ass host or hostess that's going to be the best person in the world for greeting. If you want a manager, then how about I'm going to get a kick-ass manager who can do a lot of those other things I just said better than I can. But or if you don't like marketing, how am I going to find someone who just loves to get out there and market, like boots on the ground and talk to people? It's like, how do I find someone who's better than me at fill in the blank skill set? And then, okay, you can go to Indeed or any of those, Glassdoor, I don't care, whatever one you want to use. And that's a good place to start. But even there, you gotta market differently. Instead of like, I have a host position or manager position open, I'll put like, I have a position in a world-class, bakery organization looking for someone. And I'll list a whole bunch of like super high level skills. Don't apply unless you have this, this, and this. And then right away you could get rid of like the 100 applications, people that actually hit the skill set. And you're like, all right, that's interesting. Now I'll ask you to make me a 2-minute video that gets rid of almost everybody. You'll get 3 or 4, maybe people will submit a 2-minute video, and then actually start having a conversation with them. And we're talking like deep questions, like how would you pay for your own salary in the first 3 months?
Oh,
like if I were to bring you on, and I'll be right up front, it's like, I can't afford you. You're too awesome. Like Kimberly, I just, but I need someone like you. So how can I get you on my team where you could pay for yourself in the first 3 months, and I'll float the salary until then. And if they have ideas how to do that and they make sense, you could hire them. If they're like, oh, well, you can't afford me, piss off. It's like, all right, well, you're not my person. Like, because a lot of us as small business people, we can't afford the big talent, but it's just us thinking about things from a resource perspective. It's often not a lack of resources, it's a lack of resourcefulness. There's maybe the person doesn't need Monday. Maybe they need every Thursday afternoon off so they can go to their mother to the grocery store because she's elderly and but wants to be independent. And that's like sacrosanct for them. And if they have a job, they can absolutely have that. They'll work for you. You don't know what people need. And if you start asking those questions, you can get some really kick-ass talent out there. Like I have a gentleman that works for me. I want to take my daughter to school. She's like 8 until she's 18 every day. I want to drive her to school. I'm like, well, good luck after she's 16. But yeah, okay. Like you don't have to start ever until you drop your daughter off from school. Great. I'll come work for you for less money because no other place can do that for me. There's just, you just got to you got to figure out what people need.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. Awesome. And I think that if you start your relationship out with the employee like that, you're probably going to have a much more committed person.
Yeah, I think so. I do. And A players want to be measured. So if you have systems in place where you're measuring their talent against others, they'll stay because there's a competition board there.
Uh-huh.
And what do you win? Well, maybe it's whatever they need to win. Some people it will be money. I'm not saying that you shouldn't pay people well, but it could be bonus wise. Like if you hit this and this time, we're going to give you a windfall bonus because they just made you a lot of money, so that's okay. It could be a lot of different things. B players will do. I call B players are like mom and dad. Like when you're a kid and mom and dad says we're leaving in 5 minutes, like the kids know you're not leaving in 5 minutes, right? Like they know it's going to be 10 minutes or an hour or whatever. And B players are kind of like that. They're waiting to see if whatever you said we're going to do is actually going to stick. And they'll ignore it until they have to do it. Where A players are like, all right, let's go, let's move, let's get this thing going, let's get this process going, let's implement this plan, let's grow, because I'm going to make more money, or I'm going to get this, or I'm going to get. I just want to win, whether it's whatever their metric is for winning. Or B players like, hey, I'm good. I think most of the world's B players. We need some of those. And then you get your C players. Those are just your ones you got to identify and get rid of. But promote the customer, I say.
Yeah, promote the customer. I like that. That's perfect. That's awesome. So where can people connect with you? And where can they find your book?
Thanks for the opportunity there. MikeDejong.com. You can see what I got going on. I just finished prototyping some workshops, so we're going to start doing some of those live, and maybe online. We'll see. Next one I definitely for sure have is going to be in October 19th in Wisconsin, which isn't anywhere near Anchorage, I know, but it's going to be a great event. You can find out about that at MikeDejong.com, and my book is on Amazon. It's called Grow Smart. But if you search Grow Smart, you're going to get 10 pages of gardening books. So search my name; it's the only book that comes up.
Okay, but can they get your book through your website?
Yeah, you can get it through the website too. Thank you for that. Yeah, I forgot I put it on there.
No, of course.
see, we're a team. I'm not about self-promotion, about helping people.
And the event that you're doing in person, what can people expect about that?
Well, that one's going to be a lot of, I call it give people, this is my philosophy in life, give people what they want so you can get them what they need.
Okay.
So in this day and age, I'm going to have a lot of stuff about AI and AI marketing and AI data workflows so that you could be more efficient. I know you said you like to be more efficient in your life, but I'm also going to give a lot of the mindset training, talking about a lot of in-depth on the 3 leadership types, the 6 human needs, and different ways we can get out of our own way so that we can actually execute on the stuff we're talking about. And I think that's the really important, or where the big win will be for people. Because then once you understand yourself and how you relate to those things, the rest just explodes. At least that worked for me and the people I've been working with for the last few years. So I got some background there.
That's good. That's awesome. That's fantastic. Early in our journey, we have taken a few mastermind restaurant group stuff to learn how to be better. And man, I can't recommend it enough. If you can learn from somebody else, if there's a book that you can read or an event that you can attend, definitely do it, because you will level up so much faster than if you just try to figure it out on your own. Boy, I don't know how many years I wasted thinking I just had to figure it out. And I, now if I were to start all over again, I definitely would utilize the resources that are available and stand on the shoulders that other people that have gone before me that have learned how to do this well. So, Mike, I'm so grateful that you were here. I'm glad that you joined me on the podcast. How exciting it is to have you here and to hear all of the things that you have learned and how you can help us be better as leaders. I'm grateful that you came, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to hanging out with you. This was fun.
Yeah, it was. It was really good. Thank you.